experiencing your reality. So our great thanks, and we do again speak on behalf of the Pleiadian Council, together with many other allies who support in giving a broader perspective through this particular channel. Many different groups of beings, extraterrestrial and angelic, and from many other places as well, we could say, do gather at these moments to transmit the energy that is brought through into this space and translated by the channel. So, for some of you who are new to us, we are in extraterrestrial consciousness. We, as individual beings, are capable of accessing what could be considered a collective consciousness, a certain more objective reality shared between a group mind of our species, so that we download from each other certain degrees of knowing, certain degrees of understanding. We operate with a degree of individuality, with our own uniqueness within this larger collective mind. And so as a council, you could say we are a collective. That is why we describe ourselves as a council, or sometimes as a collective, because while there is one being that is very closely linked to this channel, that being, that is myself, or ourself really, is connected to many other beings who as well receive much information. Why are we here? Well, we are here because your planet has chosen a path of ascension. And this path is one in which you come to meet your other guides, you come to activate your own psychic abilities, you come to together unify. And if you choose to join a Galactic Alliance, these are very exciting times in preparation, as ages of conditioning, belief systems, trauma that has accumulated is ready to be dumped and flushed, so that these new changes, these shifts to a higher frequency can occur. And while that is something that may be a challenging process for all of you, it is one that will step by step allow you to access greater levels of love. And that is the frequency that we most wish to communicate. The main message coming from beings like ourselves is that you are the creator of your experience of reality. Many people say that you create your own reality, and to some degree that is true. Though you create your experience of your reality, this is a bit more valid. The belief systems that you hold are like filters that allow the light of source to transmit a consciousness field that becomes your reality. When you change your belief, the energy that flows from source through you will change in its experience. However, you all co-create your realities as you share this planet, and we all share this universe, which is one of many universes, you may know. There are many different universes that all operate under different laws. So this is really just the beginning of what you may come to know. You do not need to believe everything we say, and we would hope that you don't swallow it right away, or swallow any ideas for that matter, without chewing on them first, without giving them some time to assimilate, and seeing how they make you feel. If it allows you to feel good, and it allows you to feel clear, and trusting in yourself, then we would say it is a good idea, or at least an aspect of it is good. Now, why are we speaking through a person? Why are we not just showing up in front of you if we really exist? This is a common question, and we do say it is because we are at a much higher frequency bandwidth, and this frequency we emit would bring you to entrain or match our frequency. Now, when you raise your frequency, the lower frequency traumas and belief systems and emotions that are present and stored in your system come up to the surface. If you try to go to a much higher frequency much too quickly, you may be overwhelmed by the degree of those traumas, belief systems, and emotions that will surface at one time. So you may even find that when you see us in the sky, the sort of emotions it stirs is very shocking to your system at times. It fills you with great love and awe, though it also begins to get you to wonder perhaps if maybe some of those fears are true. And indeed the fears are not true, though they may show themselves to you as if they are. We do even wish to speak to what the channel remembers of a certain friend of his many years ago who was not even capable of looking at the stars because it would open her up to such a great degree of those fears. And indeed, if you look to the stars and you allow your imagination to come to work, you can start to allow the energies to move through you. Now, is this all simply something imagined, made up? And we say, yes, though you must change your definition of what your imagination is and can be used for. For your imagination, while it seems to conjure, is really like an antenna. And it tunes to a certain frequency in a field where everything that could be imagined already exists. It is all already there. Every idea already exists. You simply must match its frequency. And so the channel with his imagination taps to our frequency. It is a frequency of great love, frequency of great joy. And through his own subconscious, which of course contains his belief systems as well, can translate that frequency into ideas, into words, into an energy that emits from him. And really, anyone is capable of doing this. So these are the mechanics of how this works and why it is here. And when you are ready, you will come to meet extraterrestrials. Any being that you wish to meet, you can call forth with your own imagination. And you can encounter these other beings, these other realms. You can use your imagination to as well discover yourself as a whole universe in your own. They call it the universe for a reason, for you contain all of it. And within your microcosm, in your own personal universe, you contain many of these different realms of archetypes, mythologies, stories. All of them have something to teach you and show you. So by learning how to go into these realms of the subconscious with your visionary aspect of your mind and connect that with a feeling, you can bit by bit know yourself in a very creative new way that will allow you to gain a greater perspective. And here's one knowing, here's one understanding that will help you as you do this. It is that whatever you believe becomes a reality. So you will encounter your own belief systems as you do this work. They will either distort the energy from the outside, or it will show up as those inner archetypes and mythologies, parts of yourself that may feel fear. As you meet them, as you come to hear from them, what are they believing? Those parts of yourself. Whether you meet them in front of you or whether you notice that they are interfering with your connection to something greater. Ask them, why? When did you learn to believe that? How did that idea get lodged into you? And come to question for yourself, what is the opposite belief? What is the opposite idea? What is one that allows me to feel a great freedom, a great liberation? In that understanding, in that game, in that dance, you will find that there is no belief that you cannot dislodge. But you must first feel it, to reveal it. The more you allow yourself to feel and question yourself and your reality, the more you will come to understand. There are many parts of you, yet every single part of you represents all of you. And there are many individuals within this universe, and every individual is a microcosm for the whole universe. Every individual is, in that sense, made to be able to have that connection to everything beyond. And you are evolving, yes, to that point at which you can access these other levels and planes of reality. They will transmit to you a frequency that again you interpret through your own beliefs. And perhaps what we are saying seems complex. Yet really, the gist of all of this is that you together have the power to choose something new for you. You have some power within you that will allow you to transform what you believe and what you encounter by transforming what you believe. And the quickest way to do this is, of course, following your passion, following your joy, allowing that creative impulse of your heart to guide you in every decision that you come to make. When you can choose from your heart and trust in the power of your heart, which we have spoken much about in many other transmissions, and we are sure we will get to at one point this evening. When you choose that, your belief systems and all of those archetypes and all of those guides must show themselves to you in one way or another if you really ask to see, and you are really courageous enough to see them. In this universe, it is a dance, of course, between the darkness and the light. The darkness serves to create balance. The light is the purest emanation of Source. And as Source wanted to come to know itself through all dimensions, through all densities, the darkness emerged to create this contrast, to allow for opposition, to create a sort of back and forth motion that would allow for denser expressions, denser forms, an experience of separation. By falling into the experience of separation, when you rise together back into an experience of unification, the process of forgetting and remembering allows you a much deeper appreciation of oneness itself. For Source, for oneness, in its state before anything was, did not have that understanding of itself, did not have that awareness of itself. And so it desired to create. And darkness is part of what it desired to create. Darkness would not exist if God did not want darkness too. We don't like the word God very much because for you, in your reality, there have been many negative connotations, negative actions done using that name. And really, who created this particular universe was created by Source. And yes, this universe has particular creators. We won't talk about that too much today. Though understand that the darkness exists for a purpose. And your darkness as well exists for a purpose. Yes, the purpose is to liberate yourself from it. Yet if you fight it, or hide it, or deny it, you will never get there. So, again, what we are saying today is, allow yourself to explore your darkness, allow yourself to explore your psyche, allow yourself to see that there are many different pieces to the being that you are. And as you explore all of these facets of yourself and see their connections to many realms of your own past and your other lifetimes as well, you will find that you are the most creative being that ever was. This is the message for this evening. We hope that it gives you some things to think about. It allows you to access your own power, your own creativity, and your own beliefs. And from here, we would like to answer your questions. We would like to return, in this exchange, the favor you have extended to us by allowing us to speak today, by speaking to your questions, your desires, your passion. You may begin whenever you wish, in whatever fashion you would like.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. I'm wondering about values and embodying values.
Yes.
And I notice within myself I have conflicting values, and also when I am moving through the world, I will act in a way that is unhealthy or that is harming for myself or that
Yes.
is going against a value. And I'm wondering how I can integrate and embody values that support my healthiest, most authentic, integrated, highest self.
Can you give us an example of two values that may conflict each other?
Yes. So I really value eating healthy
Yes.
and getting good healthy habits like sleep and drinking water.
Yes.
But then I also really value being like intuitive and following like what is exciting and inspiring to me,
Yes.
which sometimes means doing actions that don't facilitate my greatest health. And
Such as?
so maybe like staying up late or partaking in like alcohol or unhealthy foods, and then I'll feel bad about that, and it'll feel like I'm going against that other value of healthiness.
Yes. Well, for one, any experience you have is an experience of anything you experience is an experience that you can use in a positive way. So say, for example, you eat something you shouldn't have eaten. You consume something that you later regret. When you feel, first of all, how the food itself feels in your body, do you enjoy the taste of it? Do you eat it with awareness? Can you do it slowly, in a conscious way that feels every vibration? Or are you wrapped up in the heat of the moment and knowing that those regretful thoughts, those negative beliefs about the thing you are doing will soon enough kick in, so you do it very quickly until it's over, and then you then face those beliefs? Because really, you actually have the power to transmute with your own body many different toxic substances if you really believed that you had that ability. So we are not saying go out and try it, because if you don't believe it, it won't work. If you still have that idea within you, this is bad for me, and you try to do it, it certainly won't work. We only share with you this idea to help you understand that your belief about what you are doing is one of the primary ingredients in the result that you experience. And this is why the placebo effect is one of the most effective treatments in your world, because the primary ingredient is belief. Now, we come to question with you now, are things like using alcohol or certain substances really representative of your great passion and excitement? Or is it some more impulsive choice? do you feel when you do that your heart is opening, your heart is activated, that there is this magnetic force drawing you to it, and you feel alive and on fire in your heart as a result? In a way, it could be representative of your passion, though only you know. Is it really representative of passion for you? And is it?
I guess it depends on the intention.
Yes.
Yeah. So if it's a celebration with people I care about,
Yes.
then it can feel good and it can feel like a passionate experience. But if it's just using for like numbing or maybe not being mindful with it, then it doesn't feel as passionate. It
Yes.
feels more like distance, like I'm distancing myself from the presence.
Yes. So that is a good awareness. Continue to expand in that awareness. And also notice that you may or may not get more connected when you use it in the other sense as well as a celebration. Notice how true and authentic to yourself you are with the others. Are you letting your favorite parts of yourself through? Or is it another expression of numbing that seems a bit different because it is social? As we witness your reality, many of you believe that using certain substances together connects you with other people. Yet, instead of really connecting, you, in a way, disconnect. You go into your own space as you ingest the substance, and then you simply share the same physical space without allowing the energetic space to connect you. And so having a ritual, having an intention that we together are using whatever this substance is to connect us with one another will allow you to stay on that same frequency wavelength together. And then it won't matter whether or not it is alcohol or another thing. However, in general, alcohol itself is a substance that is a bit lowering for your vibration when used too much. 1 or 2 drinks can be alright. However, too regularly, even that will have an effect of lowering your vibration. You can use many other substances that have a similar effect in allowing you to feel more open, to feel more free, to feel more warm, and not have those physical side effects of alcohol. Though ultimately, it is not good or bad. So if you are choosing to do it, be fully present in your choice to do it. Be fully accepting of your choice to do it. Allow yourself to take those definitions of what is good and what is bad and throw them out the window and simply be raw and real in your experience of it. Source has no value judgments. Source expresses through many different frequencies. Some frequencies are higher and some frequencies are lower. It does not mean that the higher frequencies are better. It simply means that they are more subtle. They are occupying different dimensions that are less physical. In general, whenever you take a substance, whether it is a very psychedelic one, you would say, or a very inebriating one, you could say, it is making you more physical because you are putting physicality into your body. So it may open you up to how the physical bridges to many other dimensions, We are not saying do not eat or ingest anything. We are simply bringing that awareness that taking sustenance into your body keeps you more here. And that is something that is good, oftentimes. Though, what we were saying initially, there's no value judgment. Source has no value judgment. So, simply be present with your experience of it. And notice how much of the experience of negativity from it comes from your self-judgment, and how much of it comes from the actual substance. You will not be free of judgment until you stop judging yourself. This is one of the hardest ones for all of you to release, though really you will find that sometimes it can even be good to keep using the substance until you can stop judging the experience of it. You may come to hate the substance, you may hate the experience of it, yet you will stop judging the use of it. And oftentimes this is the clearest pathway to the end of what you call addiction. Our thanks to you, yes.
So, to ask a question.
Yes.
I think the last one kind of was touching into pieces of, but different type of experience.
Alright.
Like I just sat in a medicine ceremony,
Yes.
tapping into conscious levels, not in body levels, where my personal journey in it brought about what I register in looking at my experience as both working through this soul's being's deep wounds, but also a very collective wounds.
Yes.
I just wondering if you can talk about, use of ceremonial to be able to connect to source consciousness and the being able to work through individual but also collective deep wounds.
So you are asking about the use of ceremony to release wounds for yourself and the collective. Really, it comes with allowing yourself to feel those wounds and to understand that every wound is a need that is not being met, or in worse scenarios, harm caused from the outside. both of these wounds have similar effects, and they require that deep, gentle love from you and from others. So there are certain needs that you can only meet in the presence of the other. And this is a hard thing for some of you to accept in your world, because part of how your planet has got to the state it is in, of great struggle as a result of hierarchical structures, is the sense that I can do it on my own. I alone am this powerful. Now, you do not necessarily need another human to be the one to give you what you need. Most of the time you do. Though in these initial experiences of, as an individual, getting in touch with the places you have been wounded, the presence of certain beings you call spirit guides, angels. Some of us can even present ourselves as spirit guides, us being extraterrestrials. And as you invite us in, we can give you the love you need for one, and we can co-create with you at that conscious level, allowing you some mirroring of your ideas, allowing you this different perspective that will show you in a clear way how to meet those needs. Sometimes when there has been great neglect and trauma, there is a need to vent that emotion in some way. Creativity is the remedy when it comes to allowing these emotions to move. It can simply be talking, it can be singing, it can be screaming, it can be painting, it can be making a movie, it can be picking grass out of the ground and tying knots in it. Honestly, it can be anything. Your creativity can express through any form, through any means. Though creativity allows emotional energy to move. It allows for emotional energy to sort of dance and move through your system in a way that you can bring about greater change. And co-creativity is how you meet needs. So even by expressing your own gifts and sharing it with others, that is an act of co-creation, because every time someone witnesses and holds space for your creative expression, the way you express yourself next time goes to a different level, because you have received in return the energy that comes with that attention. And this co-creativity, when the intentions are matched together, will always allow for this healing to go to deeper levels. If you can't find a specific intention, yet you want to move towards expression and healing, a universal intention is to move deeper into an experience of oneness. And this intention, when backed, when you back any of your other intentions with this intention of moving deeper into an experience of oneness together, that intention is sure to be amplified to its highest degree. Now, when it comes to collective wounds, that is perhaps the great tool to have, is that intention of oneness. As there is a field of reality that all of you can access. And this field contains the blueprint for this universe and all of the variations of it, and at other levels the multiverse, the many different universes that are contained within all that is. And at these levels there are some patterns that transduce into every layer. So when you expand your awareness to those levels, you can start to both access the light of dimensions or such as our own, where we have gone past the experience of polarization, and at those levels where there is equality in light and dark, there is no moving towards one side or the other, there is an experience of pure love as a result. You can let that energy, yes, transduce into your dimension. Though being in your own dimension, you also begin to tap into the pain bodies of those around you. And many of you attempt to block this experience because it can be overwhelming. And that blocking is again coming from the trauma of neglect. Because someone was not there for you when you experienced pain, your natural response is to not want to feel the pain that you do not understand in the other. So whenever you are seeing or witnessing someone who cannot hold space for the collective pain body, understand that beneath that is a deep experience of neglect that you can heal by ending neglect for yourself. It may trigger many different layers of emotions that, again, co-creatively transform, whether it is with a spirit or with a person. It is about the relationship when it comes to these levels of healing. And together through that co-creation, you can release many, many layers of the collective pain body by seeing how there is always something resonant that is stored within you that allows you to tap into a certain particular frequency within the collective pain body. As above, so below. As below, so above. So when you find what you store, what you hold, that resonates with the collective pain body, and you co-creatively transform that, in turn, it will express through the collective as you hold it within your own self-expression. Can you play with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Can we clarify that in any way?
For me, it feels like I mean, this real draw. I don't even know if that's what a thing of holding space for others, but
Yes.
I also am in a place that I need space held for me.
Yes.
And so I feel that that thing of I feel that the more that I'm able to actually release a lot of what's holding me, that I, this personal soul's stuff, that there's more of being able to create space for many, so
Yes.
being a circle is kind of what I feel.
Yes. It is both a circle. It is a back and forth. It is as you heal, others around you heal. As they heal, you heal more.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is why we are describing it in this co-creative fashion. And there is one block that many of you inherit that is, again, built into the hierarchical way your world is set up, in the sense that many who are doing a sort of therapeutic work, it is a one-way street, in that one person, as the therapist, helps the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this way of engaging with others will always keep one person higher than the other, and therefore it slows down the healing process for the healee. And that is why the space that you have co-created today is the new paradigm of healing. Because there is no one who knows more. There is no one who knows less. Everyone has a voice and everyone is welcomed into the space. Everyone has something to give and everyone has something to receive. And the new paradigm of working with others is in knowing that your vulnerability with clients, with healies, with however you term it, we don't care, is part of the magic of the healing. And this is part of why we always say to you in your reality that we thank you for allowing us to be here, for we gain very much from the experience. You give to us as we give to you, and there is no relation that works in a different way that is a balanced relation. Now, there are dimensions, there is the experience of self-serving beings that, well, self-serving to the extent that they serve themselves at the expense of others, and that energy has structured the old paradigm, as you may call it, and it seeps into even many of you who claim to be a part of the new paradigm but haven't gotten the full picture yet. Of course, those souls are certainly a part of the new paradigm as they hold that intention, yet if their expression does not match the highest expression quite yet, that is just a learning curve, and compassionately hold space for them as well. The new paradigm is certainly in co-creative healing, in that everyone brings with them their vulnerability. And it is not seen as a weakness or a reason to be a lesser therapist. It is seen as a true strength.
Yeah, I felt my own resistance to kind of step into because of, my own, that I'm like, oh, I'm not there yet, and
You're always there. You're always where you are. There is only here and now. There is a construct that you create. And this construct is another way that those who wish to zap energy from people can keep you in the chase of something, because in that chase, you're more susceptible to being attacked, to being used. Do not chase for the future, for there is only now. And you will always become more, yet you are always already complete. In your imperfection, in your flaws, and what you may perceive as broken, you are still complete. And it is that paradox that allows you to give exactly what you're capable of giving now, knowing that it is a complete offering. It, of course, will be better the next time, because that's how it will always be. But just because the next time will be better does not mean that you're not already there.
yeah, it feels true for both just my offerings, but also for my partnership.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I just need maybe it's an acceptance of where. Yeah. That I am where I am.
Yes. And in not just accepting, but celebrating, but owning yourself exactly as you are. For right now, again, it is the only moment, this is the only you that there is. You will find you are always capable of doing what you need to do with the help of all that is, with the co-created elements that come in. And you all deserve to have those co-created elements in human form, in spirit form. And when you ask clearly, when you have a clear idea of what you need, there will be someone who can fill the role. So do not settle for someone who does not meet what you need. Do not try to train someone to meet your needs who cannot meet your needs. When you do that, you push away the people who can actually meet your needs.
That feels very true of what I just did. As far as like, in a romantic way, you know, because like I feel like I would much rather feel met, and like I want to co-create with somebody that actually wants to co-create versus lessen or isn't of, you know, a similar place, you know, and, you know, yeah, like I feel very similar of like my offerings that I want to align with people that have a very similar vibrations, you know, even though we bring each our own unique experiences and our unique gifts and our own unique vulnerabilities and past. But yeah, I very much feel like what I'm calling in is co-creation in all areas of my life.
Yes. And as you call it forth, so it shall be. Allow yourself to need what you need, and allow others to need what they need, and allow yourself to express all of it, and it will certainly align in the way that you most need to grow. And again, you will always continue to get more. You will continue to see where something may seem as if it is missing, though in realizing that it may be better, that something may not be there, you again expand into completion. You expand into completeness. For really, nothing is truly missing when you become aware of what could fill the gap. There is many on the other side who can fill that seemingly empty space with an etheric space holder that will allow you to get in touch with the frequency of what it may be like to have what you need yet do not have. And with that frequency space holder in your imagination, in connection with your spirit guides, your attraction of it will come to you much quicker. Or your attraction of it will happen much faster.
Your message sits very true within my heart.
Well, we thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks to you.
I have a question.
Yes.
So it's kind of a two-part.
All right.
In the experience of people I have, the circles I run in our community,
All right.
there seems to be a belief of the way the world is run seems to be by people who do this world a lot of damage and harm.
Yes.
And then and those people seem to have a lot of power and a lot of say of where the world is going.
Yes.
And then there seems to be a group of people who, the artists and the spiritual workers, who would like more of a say, but can't seem to get that level of power or guidance. And I'm wondering, first of all, like, why did that happen? And then second part is, what can that group of people do right now in our communities? What's the most powerful thing we can do to have more of a say in the direction of the world is going?
Well, we'll first address why it is this way. And again, Source generated darkness because darkness allowed for a greater degree of self-awareness to emerge. It allowed for contrast to emerge and for choice to be experienced. And through moving into darkness and from darkness back into balance, you have a greater appreciation for that balance and a greater appreciation for the light, and as well you gain an appreciation for the darkness, for the teachings it brings you. And so that awareness is one that is very helpful in facing the very imbalanced state that your world is in which there is great darkness used and then covered up and portrayed in a way that it is not. Now, how to do something about it? For one, expressing your passion, following your passion, doing what brings you the greatest experience of love, and also standing for your truth, expressing it, and expressing it as well when you do not agree with something. So these forms of non-violent protest, for some of you, have come to seem inefficient, yet really they have great power. The more of you who say, I don't approve of this, I want to see something different, the more you say that, the more often you say that, the more people will start saying that. So if you want to see people doing things differently, you have to start doing those things differently too and talking about it. It is not being based in your ego in a way to say what you believe and say the actions that you are taking to make the world different. So you must continue to do that. And yes, it may involve standing up against those corporations. It may involve saying, I do not want to see this in my world. You can write letters, you can demonstrate, you can find creative ways to express the opposite. You can, yes, develop those technologies that will change your world if that is your passion. You can organize charities, you can organize ways to give back to the communities. You can directly go to those people who are the most in struggle and lift them up. And you can share that experience, and that will do very much. Now, we have just said so many different ways you could help, so many different ideas, and you are probably aware of most of them. So it may seem confusing, or you may not know which direction to take. And here is where the personal element comes in that whichever one of these avenues feels most true in your heart, make that choice. And now, it may seem like you are at a very stuck place on your planet because the crises are escalating. And really, this period of your time is one in which people have been really waking up to how difficult the state of your world is and experiencing that in their own lives and moving through their own personal shadows, healing their own personal demons, you could say, in order to make these bigger changes. So individuals themselves have to face a large part of their own process, their own resistances, in order to take these steps forward. And that is what has been happening. And now it is a critical time, and many people are hearing that call to step into further action, to step into further creativity, and move with that creativity into their lives. Now, you are in this year, the 2019, which is itself a 3-year. 3 is a number of creativity. And so this year is a year where that creative energy, in whatever form you wish to use it, is very highlighted in the lives of everyone and in the collective as a whole. So ride the wave of that. And when it comes to anything that you do or say or bring into the world, really choose the one that allows your heart to become vibrant, to become activated. When you are on the right path, it'll feel as if you're on fire with passion, and it may also feel as if you are encountering great deals of fear, because oftentimes you place the fear directly in front of your passion. And when you are really, really on point, it won't matter that there is fear, because the fire of that passion will burn it away. So it is about learning how to become comfortable in that process of feeling your greatest passion and feeling all the fear that is in the way of it, and starting to enjoy the burn more and more and more. We think in your world they have created something that burns, many things that burn, really. And there is a good element of that. The burning, the fire, is a key expression of creativity. And when you find what makes you burn, you will also burn away the fear, and burn away the fear in the collective. Now, sometimes the way that you give back to the world is not the most conventional or practical way, but what that does, say for example you're an artist that has a very unique idea and you are very passionate about it, by being so passionate and active in that expression, it awakens in others their own ability to choose the same thing. Artists have such a great power when they portray the state of the world and portray the imbalance within your relations, because those activities then trigger in the collective, in others, the awakening that leads them to make similar choices in following their own passion and burning away their fears. Is that helpful? Can you play with that?
I think so. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I guess it's just reconciling. You know, I mean, I when I tap into following my passion, I mean, it seems to mess with the practicality of living in modern life.
Yes.
Where, I mean, I feel like if I were to really follow my passion and do what I want to do, I mean, I recognize that my job that provides me an income gets in the way of my inspiration.
Yes.
But are we all to just sort of go towards the path of, say, homelessness and just kind of...
No. No, you must do what you believe you need to do in order to survive. If you do not believe your passion is enough to support you, then carve out as much time and space for your passion as you can. Realize that your passion innately gives you energy. So don't tell yourself that story that now that I've done what I'm not passionate about for so long, I don't have any energy for my passion. Because if you're really passionate about it, it'll wake you up. So, yes. And another aspect of it that will give you more time and space is allowing your needs to be met in other ways. You have come to develop a degree of collective shame around ideas that are not conventional and how you meet your needs. So gifts are another way to meet your needs. Communities are another way to meet your needs. Living in alternative circumstances are ways to meet your needs. Abundance can come to you in many forms, so don't rule any of them out. And as well, there are ways to ignite more passion within things that may limit you, situations, jobs that may limit you, by finding the ways that you can focus your attention so that you feel more connected within those circumstances. For example, perhaps you don't like what you are doing, but you feel passionate about making deeper connection with others. You can still do that within the context of your work. So there are some ideas in how to balance and how to make more space and time for your passion.
Okay.
You said it's important to follow your passion, but what if you really don't know what that is and you don't know where to look for it?
Well, you look for it within your heart. That is the center of it all. You ask your heart, out of every activity that I could do right now, which one awakens and activates me the most? Which one brings me to move in the direction I most prefer? And make that choice moment by moment. When you start on the trail of passion, you will gain momentum, and it will become an automatic flow in which you move from one exciting thing to the next exciting thing, and it keeps adding to the momentum and the flow of that passion, of that excitement. It really is in, oftentimes, the most simple things that your passion becomes the most awakened, initially. And it is often those simple things that stoke the flames of your passion if you ever feel you are running low. So say, for example, you are on a beautiful Sunday and you were supposed to meet your friend, but they cancel on you for whatever circumstance. And then you ponder what you could do when you open up your phone and you see some events. And you see many different things you could go to. And you also think about going to the park. And you also think about driving to the beach. And you also think about perhaps watching a movie. You also think about reading a book. You take a moment, you sit down, and all of those things are right there before you. Which of them, when you feel into your heart, brings you to feel that greatest sense of opening, expansion? Your heart beats quicker, it warms, it tingles, moves through your whole body. That is the one. Your body knows. Your body is a reader, so to say, of which frequency and which path is most relevant for you to expand into all of your soul. Can you play with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So listen to yourself in that way.
Mm-hmm.
We could allow for one final question if anyone would wish to share.
I would ask a question, but I'm not sure
That's
I'll
all
be
right.
able to hang with you on the answer.
All right.
But maybe next time I can ask a question.
All right. You can also make a statement.
I guess something to answer the next time we get together is, what is the next step for someone that has already experienced other entities of this world and can already speak things into existence? Is, taking their passions and already putting those into focus in order to bring about what they would want in their lives. What is the next step in, I guess, connecting with other energies that represent myself on different planes, and once you've become a master of your own experience on this plane, what would be the next step after that? And that would be, I guess, the the question that I'm asking, that I would, if you are able to answer that question, great, but I would not be able to stay right now in order to hear it.
Alright. But the question is, when you move on from this plane, then what happens?
No, what is the next step after you have become a master of your own experience and you can and you have met entities and other energies that represent yourself and you are working with that in order to create your experience on this plane? What is the next step after that, after you have become a master of your own experience?
Well, the next step is teaching others that mastery. And of course, once you connect with spirits of other planes, it does not mean that you become any less passionate about this plane. Quite to the contrary. As above, so below. As below, so above. So you start to become more aware of the connectedness between the realms. The spirit realm into the physical realm, and the physical realm into the spirit realm. Synchronicity is a teacher of how everything is interconnected. And once you develop these connections more, you will start to notice how synchronous, how connected, how on point everything in life really is, leading you into the most perfect circumstances. And that sort of a synchronous frequency is emitted from your beingness, and it radiates to others the same power to be a masterful creator. So you become more of a master by teaching others how to master themselves. And by moving to a higher plane, it does not ever negate the lower plane. It instead brings an integration, a oneness, a dance between the two.
Okay.
Can you play with that?
Sure.
Alright. Yes. Yes, yes. Well, we thank each and every one of you for co-creating this interaction today. It has been a very great pleasure for us, and it has allowed us to expand, and will certainly allow many others to expand and listen to it from their now reality, wherever they may be on your planet. Our great love and thanks to you, and we wish you the most pleasant days.
Thank you.
Thank you.